Everyone, welcome to Dreamforce. Thank you for joining us today. We are very excited to share with you some of the new identity capabilities that are coming this winter release. I'm Itzik Koren, I'm product manager here at Salesforce, and I'm responsible for our authentication services. And with me, Jamie Lee. Jamie is the dev manager for authentication, and is responsible for building many of the great stuff that we're going to show you today. When you're building application today for consumers, B2C, you need to take into account that some portion of your user are going to access your services only from your mobile devices. So now if you want to be able to go after this population, you need to optimize your services for mobile users. However, if you're still going to continue and use standard identity services for things like sign in, sign up, forgot password, you're not going to have the ability to deliver the optimal user experience for these users. For example, you as a consumer, how many times you try to sign up to a new service from your mobile device and you couldn't complete the process just because it was either too long or too complicated, or maybe because during the sign-up process you were asked to leave the app, go check your email, and you couldn't find the welcome email. Or maybe when you found the welcome email and you click on it, it was expired, right? So today we're going to show you a new framework that we built for deployment of passwordless signing and sign up that will help you to overcome many of these challenges. You're also going to learn how you can use the framework to get to new customers and new markets. And we're also going to show you how you can use the new framework with only point and click, and you will be amazed to see how simple it is to deliver such a great login experience. Before we move forward, this is our forward-looking statement. During the session, we may talk about things that we plan to do in the future. If you plan to make any purchase decision, please base them only on what is available today. We have a short agenda today. I'm going to start with describing some of the challenges with today's signing and sign-up processes, and then we'll just jump and show you the new solution and how you can integrate it into your application. One thing that I want to call out is that everything that we're going to show you now is focused on external users. So your customers and your partners. I guess that most of you use Salesforce as your CRM platform. However, you can use the Salesforce platform to engage directly with your customers. For example, if you are an insurance company, you can deploy community portal to engage directly with your insurees, right? This is where the insurees can go and check claims. This is where they can go and file cases, right? So we are, again, focused on external users today. There is increasing number of demographic and geographic where email address, desktop browser are not very commonly used today, right? For example, if you're dealing with the Z generation or Y generation, right? These young people, they pretty much live in social networks, right? They live in mobile apps. Many of them might have email addresses, but they don't use them very often, right? Instead, they use applications like Facebook Messenger, Snapchat, WhatsApp, etc. Another example is the Chinese market, right? If you're developing application for the Chinese market, you probably know that WeChat pretty much dominates the mobile market. It's much more than social network, right? It's a single app, a super app that allows you to do pretty much everything from your mobile device. So the fact is that many consumers in China do all their online interaction from their mobile devices. So you need to take all this into consideration if you want to go after mobile-first users. Now let's talk about the login process. There's a lot of discussion lately about passwords and how we can replace them with something that provide better security and deliver better usability. But the fact is that there is at least one more factor that impacts your login experience, and that's the username or the user ID. Now, there are some services where it's very clear what you need to use as a username or user ID. For example, when you go and access your Gmail account, it's very clear that you need to use your Gmail address, right? However, when you try to log into Salesforce, when you try to log into Community, when you try to log into a consumer-facing application, sometimes it's not very clear what you need to use as the unique identifier. On the other case, here on the second screenshot, sometimes simply have too many options, right? I mean, here you can see there are at least 11 different login options. Each one will take you to a different login screen that will again ask you to provide different username and different password. So that's become a discovery issue, right? Not only what password I need to use with each service, but also what username or what credential I need to use in each service. Signup Process, again, it's a very critical identity service. You can build and deploy awesome consumer-facing application. You can invest ton of effort and resources in user acquisition, in online marketing. But at the end of the day, if you don't have very simple, very clear, very intuitive self-service sign-up processes, you're going to lose the ability to convert many of these leads into prospects and eventually into loyal customers. And then eventually, many of these login screen sign up looks very simple, very clear, but don't let it confuse you, right? I mean, there's a lot of things that you need to take into consideration when you're building or integrating signing and sign up processes into your application. Starting with things like branding, UX, accessibility, and following with things like security best practices, mobile compatibility, social sign-on. And that's even without mentioning all the identity aspects of signing and sign up, right? Where do you manage your user identities? Are you provisioning new users, single sign-on, etc., etc.? So now let me switch to a quick demo and show you what we did to help you and overcome many of these challenges. For this, I'm going to switch to my browser. And what you can see here, this is a new default community login page. One thing that you can notice here is that for the first time, user can log in into community using something that is different from username, right? In this case, they can log in with either phone or email address. Another thing that you can notice on this page is that also the password field is gone and also the forgot password link is full, right? So not only we continue to get rid of password, right? And we at Salesforce, we are a big fan of getting rid of password, but we also move into what we call login discovery or interview-based login. And what it means is that we took the traditional login page, username and password, and we broke it into two steps. On the first step, we allow you to determine how you want to identify your users, email, phone. We also provide you the ability to identify user with custom identifier. So with member ID, with social security number, with license ID. And then on the second step, we allow you to determine how you want to challenge your user to verify their identity. For example, you can send them one-time password over SMS or over email. The other thing that I want to show you is the sign-up process, and for that I'm going to switch to my phone. So this is my phone here. And I'm going to show you how the sign-up process looks like on mobile device. So here I'm going to use the Salesforce app. So what we did, as you can see now, the same login page loads on the mobile app. Here I can go to the sign up. So what we did, we integrated these new services into any type of mobile application. In this case, this is a Salesforce app, but it also can be any custom app built on top of the mobile SDK and even native mobile application. And what you can see here is that sign-up process, very simple, very clear, right? I'm basically collecting only the very minimum information that I need at this point of the sign-up. So in this case, just a first name and my phone number. Sign up. And now, as you can see, I get this one-time passcode code over SMS. Type it in, verify.
3-4.
And it's the wrong code.
3-4.
It's 4. Okay, so that's basically all it takes to sign up and onboard new user, right? In this case, I'm logging into community, but again, you can use it with any type of application. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to switch to Jamie that's going to show you how simple, how easy it is to build this kind of user experience from scratch.
Okay, thanks, Nick. So, how do I present? How do you present? Okay. So the demo that you just saw is part of our mobile-first identity innovation, with the aim of optimizing the registration, login, and verification services for a mobile world. So in summer 18 and winter 19, we'll be providing out-of-box community integration with a declarative way to customize the login and self-registration experience. This includes configurable sign-up, flexible login discovery, and brandable email and text messages. In addition to this, we'll also be providing a set of Apex APIs to allow even deeper customization of registration, login, and verification for your users. So now we'll switch and show you how to actually set up a passwords login and do it by also customizing the identifier that you're using to login in. So here's the default login page that you get when you create a new default community. As you can see, you've got username, password, and log button. Nothing special here. So let's see how you go ahead and customize this to allow passwords login. So if you go back to your community, go back to the administration tab, go to login and registration, scroll down. Here you can see we have the default page currently set up for the login page. So what you want to do is go down to the login discovery page, and here you'll see 3 fields pop up. Now, the important field here is the login discovery handler, because this is where the logic to execute what you want on the login page is done. Now, what you can do is just create this, click on this create login discovery handler button, and this will auto-generate an Apex class that'll out of the box provide you support for email and SMS messages. However, for this demo, we don't want to do this. What we want to do is provide a custom identifier for you to use. And what we can do is actually use a Apex class to do that. So here we have an Apex class that we've previously created. All you can see, what it does is it basically just tries to find a user where this custom member number field matches the identifier being passed into the page. If it finds a user, it checks whether the user has a valid email address, and if so, it uses this email address as the verification method for the user. And then what we do then is just pass in that to this new passwordless login API method. And that's all it is, really. So as you can see, it's a very simple Apex class, hardly 24-ish lines of code, but allowing you to use a custom Apex class on the custom login page is a very powerful way to offer you deeper integration into and customization into what exactly you need to do or want to do for your login page. So what I'll do here is I'll just grab the name of this Apex class, go back to the login page, and edit in there. Here we also have a custom text that you want to add. So in this case, we want to tell the user to enter their member number, so we'll just add that text here. And the execute login as, this is the user context that you need to actually execute the Apex script. In most cases, this will just be an admin account, so I'll just, for the sake of this demo, I'll just use my account. Okay, scroll down, save, and that's all you need to do. So now, if we go back to the login page, fresh, you can see that we've now set up passwordless login with just a few simple clicks. Now, I can go ahead and log in with a user, but this page looks a little bit boring. I mean, you've got the Salesforce logo, the grey background. So let's go back and add some customization to make it look a bit nicer. So going back to the page, you can see right now you've got the Salesforce logo. We'll change this. I've got a little cheat here. To add a nice little logo. Here we're going to change the background from a static color to a nicer background. And you probably want to get rid of Salesforce.com, so do the cloud air. Okay, click save. Go back, hit refresh, and they have it. And they're a much nicer looking, customized and branded passwords login page. Now what I'm going to do is go in and actually log in with the user. So I previously created a user with this custom member number field. So I'm just going to go in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with this member number, hit login. And what you'll see now is the verification page. So what this has done is now sent a code to my email So I'm going to pull out my phone. See, I've got a code here. I'll enter it in. 41073. Hit verify. And there you have it. We've now logged into the org just by using this custom member number. And with that, I think I'll just hand it back now to Itzik to wrap up.
Thank you, Jamie. So that was a great demonstration of how simple, how easy it is to deploy such a great login, signing and sign up experience. And I think with that we are done. Here you can find more materials, right? Code snippets and more information about how to enable this in your community or in your org. And with that, we are now open for questions. Thank you.
Hi. Can you show us how the user record looks like, where you have the username, because you register as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
Yeah. So I can talk to this. You can show the user record. So basically, in this version, Winter, we didn't make any changes to the user schema, which means that with the handler that Jamie showed, you can basically randomize some attributes. For example, if you don't want to use the email, you can create some random email and don't use it. What we plan to do in the future is basically make some changes to the user schema to allow, for example, email to be mandatory.
So there you have it. It's member number.
Can you show the user email address?
Sorry? What do you want?
If you scroll up.
Oh, the email? Yep.
Yeah. Right.
So this is my personal email. So
that's what happened today. And again, at some point, we're going to get rid of the email as a requirement.
Yeah, the email format is still required for now, but
Yep. I can't hear you, sorry. Yeah, so if I understand correctly, the question is, can we turn the option for certain users, certain profile? Definitely yes. Keep in mind that there is only one login page, right? So all users will still go through one login page, but then you can determine on the discovery handler, you can determine some user, you can just prompt them to enter password, and for other, you can challenge them with one-time password over SMS or email. Any more questions? Okay. Thank you. Enjoy your Dreamforce.